Microphone check. One, two, one, two.
One, two, three, four. Buckle my shoe.
We, we are here. Good afternoon, District 40 and friends. Welcome to day two of our spring 2025 district conference here in Lexington, Kentucky. We are on live here just for a little bit. We have a brief intermission. Right now, it's the contestants and judges briefing for the International Speech Contest, which will be this afternoon at 3 o'clock. Sydney, did you have a chance to view the table topics contest yesterday?
I did. I unfortunately I caught only the tail end of it, but
Okay.
that was my loss because it was really good speakers, and the interviews were really nice, and I was like on the edge of my seat the whole time, like,
Yeah.
oh wow, this is really good. Like
Yeah.
imagine me sitting down, I'm like armrest. Oh wow, that's really cool.
Yes, it was a great contest. We had five phenomenal speakers that participated yesterday with table topics. And congratulations to the winner of the contest yesterday, Mr. Don Schultze. Congratulations, congratulations. So today, again, we do have the International Speech Contest. We have five contestants representing all five districts, excuse me, divisions within District 40. So this should be a great contest. We cannot wait for that. But we're just going to hang out here in the lobby. Hopefully, we get some folks to stop by and say hello. And how are you enjoying the weekend so far?
I am. It's mildly exhausting, but totally worth
Mildly
it.
exhausting. Yeah.
I actually had to walk an entire 300 yards to the Toastmaster store just around the corner here and
Yeah.
pick up this really sweet Centennial pin. So
Cool.
I'd say go ahead and grab yourself. Come on and grab yourself a little swag. Say
Yeah.
hi, everyone. Say
Yeah.
hi to Ben the shopkeep. Just don't try to go for a five finger discount. That
Yeah.
that doesn't work,
You will lose your five fingers if you try it.
among other things.
Yes. So it is also Kentucky Derby weekend. And as you can see, I am sporting my fascinator. Yes, you like it. Let me get a little closer. Ooh, yeah. And we have Sydney with his fedora. Good stuff.
Gotta get a little swag going in.
Yeah, have you ever gone to Kentucky Derby before?
Actually, no, I've not had the privilege. Although I have friends that told me some interesting stories about it.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
I would love to have an opportunity to go one time. One time.
Although the closest I could claim to coming is that my wife comes from a family of equestrians. If they're equestrians slash equestrian enthusiasts.
Uh-huh.
Like my wife has ridden a horse, I haven't, so that's my claim to fame for knowing the Kentucky Derby.
Gotcha. Gotcha. I used to be really afraid of horses, to be honest, but they're
Yeah,
beautiful animals. So,
and majestic and terrifying when they're around when you're around them. But at the same time,
yeah.
they're just like big puppies almost, but
Yeah.
way less ornery.
Yeah. I hear ya. I hear ya. All right. We're just going to wait to see if anyone walks by so we can get some commentary from some of our members. This morning we had our business meeting where we was had the ability to vote in our new district leaders. So congratulations to our new district director, Tracy Baker, our new program quality director, Renee Mitchell, our new club growth director, Sue Schindler. And
Mm.
then we have our division directors. So congratulations to Shelby Walker, Division A. I'm going to go from memory here. I believe for Division B, that's going to be Scott Connor.
Yes,
Yes, Scott Connor won that. So congratulations to him.
and Ron Gillespie for
Division
C.
C, yeah, Ron Gillespie, congratulations to you. And for Division D, it is Marianne Latargo Enriquez. So congratulations to all of you guys. You and are joining a great team of leaders. Sydney and I have both served as division directors in the past. So this is a great opportunity for you to really help strengthen the clubs within your division and really strive for excellence. So best of luck to you guys going into the next program year.
And additionally, we just came out of a session for lunch where we actually got to see. I lost count. There was six or seven newly minted DTMs to be added to the fold of a few
Yes.
dozen or so
Yep.
that we have in District 40. And there's a handful of others in the woodwork like myself who have one or two major muscle movements have worked out,
Yes.
and then we'll have even more next year.
Yes, for sure. So yeah, they were. I think she was saying that about 1% of the entire Toastmasters membership are able to attain that level, that distinguished Toastmaster designation. So there's a lot of work that goes into it. There's a lot of different projects and different things you need to complete in order to get your DTM. It is the highest award that a DTM or a Toastmaster can achieve. as a member. So it's great. You're in great company. You have a lot of people who have a lot of great experience. There are people who have gone back and gotten several DTMs. Just for me, I'm okay with just one, but they switched over to the Pathways program back in 2018. So a lot of those individuals who had earned their DTM under the legacy program wanted to earn their DTM under Pathways. So I get that part. We didn't have that option. We went right into Pathways.
A little before my time.
Yeah, so I'm okay with just having just one DTM for now, but just through the course of just doing work within a district, you kind of find yourself earning another DTM kind of on accident. I didn't mean to, but that's just kind of how it happens. So,
but if you're interested in looking at it for yourself, Toastmasters International's website has a page dedicated to it, and there's at least 6 major muscle movements that go into it from survey, and they all entail some degree of public speaking competency, leadership skills, networking, doing things like this.
Yes.
And in essence, essentially, it makes you just a more well-rounded individual, if not more well-rounded professional.
Absolutely.
Tongue twister.
It is a tongue twister. All right, we're just going to hang out here to see if anyone stops by. Maybe I'll go pull a couple of people, so I'll be right back.
And in the meantime,
did you want to come over and say hi?
If you're interested in Toastmasters and why it matters, just remember it's about developing yourself, understanding the needs that you have. Maybe you want to be a better salesperson. Maybe you want to give a better toast. That's what it's all about. We're going to interview my good buddy Fred, who talk about this.
Hey, good to see you again, Sydney.
Good, Fred.
Yeah,
I had lunch with you. I didn't get a chance to really talk to you that much. But
I know there was too much going on.
I know, but I do know one thing.
Yeah.
Aside from the sandwiches being really filling.
Oh yeah.
Your conversation was really filling. So it kind of.
I'm glad to be as I'm so.
So when it comes to being full of joy in relation to Toastmasters or relation to service or anything like that, what are the things that come to your mind as the big ticket items to take away?
Oh, big ticket items to fullness is the fact that it's a mutual fullness. As the old saying goes, it's better to give and receive. The fact that I'm able to provide you some joy when you receive something you really need gives me the sense of fulfilling that is what humans are supposed to be doing.
That oddly mirrors what Sandy Vogely told us about yesterday, where you pay it for the modern philosophy of pay it forward is kind of true.
Yeah.
And that the more you serve, the more you get out of it.
I mean, human beings in general are interdependent species, so we always need to pay it forward in one form or another.
Essentially.
I mean, it doesn't need to be the big thing that's, let's say, Mother Teresa did with the orphanages in India. It could be just as simple as, say, you helping your neighbor clear the driveway because she happened to be sick and her kids are in a hospital, for example.
Yeah. And if you happen to be there on the spot and you have a shovel and maybe some experience with doing that, why not?
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, if you're like me and you like to farm it out or pay it forward more remotely, you'd be like, oh, I don't know how to do it, but this guy over here knows how to do it. So, or she knows how to do it. So you just grab someone and pay them a few bucks and they do it for you.
Yeah.
Either way, you take responsibility.
Yeah, it is responsibility. I'm not worried about the money. I'm worried about getting the job accomplished. If the money ends up coming with it with the volunteer work, so be it. But
totally. So if you had to give any words of wisdom for our audience here, who is thinking about attending the conference or thinking about joining Toastmasters, what would you say to them?
Well, the word of wisdom I would say is just simply show up and enjoy. As Woody Allen says, 70% of all interactions is just simply showing up. If you show up, you might find some good things. You might find some great things, but at least to show up and find new things. That's what's going on. I even got reminded today at another session about that you can use other things besides PowerPoint to make your presentation. For example, magnetic boards.
So essentially, the first 70% of doing what you need to do is a participation trophy. Some of it. Showing up and just participate, and the rest of it is where you do the real heavy lifting.
Exactly.
But if you show up, you've done 7/10 of the hard work.
Yeah.
So that mathematically it makes sense to me.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, Fred, thank you so much for joining us.
Sydney, my pleasure.
Yeah.
Good luck with the rest of the conference.
Thank you too.
Thank you.
Well, we're getting some additional guests lined up here. We're just here in the hotel lobby of the Embassy Suites to see who would like to join us on the podcast today. But there's a lot of bustling activity going on around here. On this side of me, there are at least 3 different breakout rooms with various events going on, educational seminars, how to do public speaking, how to network, all kinds of odds and ends activities. And they are a lot of fun and worth checking out. And here's Althea back.
Yeah, can you pass the mic to Arlen? Hi, friends. We are back. So I have with us right now the amazing Arlen McMahon. She is our 2025 District Conference Chair. She's amazing, you guys. Absolutely amazing. How are you doing today?
You know, with sweet words like that, how can you not be anything other than great?
Right. I love it. So I'm having a phenomenal weekend so far at the conference. Tell us a little bit about like what it took for you and the team to put together this great event for District 40.
Althea, I gotta tell you, this team has been phenomenal. I really haven't had to do anything.
Oh, okay.
If I could be so bold as to say, I've pretty much been bored. I didn't have anything to do. It's because all the other people have been scurrying around and doing the work. You know, Toastmasters is so wonderful in that way. All you got to do is raise your hand and say, can you help me? And there are 100 people there to support you
So true.
and do whatever needs to be done.
Yes.
So planning the session was pretty much the same way.
Mhm.
As long as we could articulate what we needed, there was 2 or 3 people there to fill the need.
Yep.
Everything just kind of fell together like clockwork. Of course, you start planning a year in advance.
Mhm.
I'm not going to pretend like it's not work,
Yeah.
but it is just a process that you go through. It's like ordering a DTM. Okay.
Absolutely.
It's a process you go through and you click off the boxes and then you've got this wonderful event.
I know. So I'm looking through the agenda and all this fun stuff that we have planned this weekend. From what we've had so far, what has been like your most favorite event so far this weekend?
It's really difficult to tell. All of the educational sessions are so unique. I don't know how you compare one against the other
Right.
because for me, it's the variety that's really
Mm.
interesting.
Yeah, the spice of life. I love that.
Of course, there's the people, you know, getting to see the people, and there's lots of hugs at a Toastmaster event. I figured
Yes.
that out.
Yes.
Lots of hugs.
Mhm.
So wear your deodorant and brush your teeth. So you have fresh breath and you get lots of hugs.
Yes, I love that. I
Yeah,
love that.
people in the education sessions are probably the best.
Good. Awesome. So we announced today during our luncheon that the 2026 District 40 Spring Conference is going to be in Newark, Ohio. So I wanted to know if you had any words of wisdom or advice you offer to the new team for the conference next year.
Absolutely. Positively.
Mm.
My number one hint is wear tennis shoes.
Ah.
Good tennis shoes
Yes.
with good arch support. Yesterday, I logged 12,000 steps
Wow.
on my pedometer between noon and 8 p.m.
Wow.
12,000 steps.
That's
So
a
you
lot.
might want to start training like for a marathon.
Building your
starting
endurance,
in
right?
January. If you're not able to walk 12,000 steps, it would just make life easier if you could start training earlier.
Okay.
I am joking. I am joking.
No, she's being serious.
But honestly, good shoes are your friend. Forget the heels.
Uh-huh. For sure. For sure. And have fun, right?
Absolutely.
And
Well,
have fun.
it's going to be fun. There's no way you cannot have fun.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for stopping by the podcast. Again, great weekend and kudos to you and team for this phenomenal conference.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. We'll see you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. All right, friends. Again, that is our District 40 Spring Conference Chair, Arlen McMahon. Again, kudos to her and team for a phenomenal conference weekend. It's been amazing thus far. I think we have another guest that's coming over, so I'll let Sydney introduce our new guest.
Thank you, Althea.
Of course.
I was able to bumping my good buddy John Humper here, who is an excellent example of what you do when you're serving behind the scenes of the district logistics in ways that no one really, frankly, ever gives them a credit for or thanks them for. So, John, could you describe a little bit about what you do to service the District 40 and have been doing and continue to do?
I have done some of the technical work to
Mhm.
make sure that people can communicate with each other with some email addresses in ways that promote the brand of the district. We there are a couple of tools to use, and to use them correctly in a way that works for the district is always kind of a study. All right.
Mhm.
A lot of things are made for large global enterprises or for small businesses. And well, Toastmasters is large and global, but it's not an enterprise in the way that other institutions think of it.
Right.
And it's not a small business. So you just kind of have to work with the technology and tease out from it what the district needs and what club members need.
Yeah, totally. So obviously, we talked a moment ago for our other guests about how earning your DTM, you can get credit towards it with different things, different acts of service that go on behind the scenes. But you do stuff like this. You tease these things out, like email addresses, IT issues. You point people in the right direction. You manage teams for the district, and they essentially do all kinds of things that just don't get a lot of recognition. So I just kind of want to throw a spotlight on them, throw them on top of the bus, if you will. But what are some of the things that you found that were either your biggest challenges or biggest joys in doing this sort of thing?
Well, one of the big joys is you stand on other people's shoulders. There were
Mhm.
people that did similar things. Two names come to mind. I'm not going to share them here, but they are people that to me are, they're mentors. And I'm just filling the shoes that they filled
Mhm.
in kind of a 2025 kind of a way. Challenges have been things like just there's some culture change things that
Mhm.
that would be helpful for the district, and just that is one of them is that we use our domain
Hmm.
and our our branded emails. The reason that's so important is that immediately establishes that we're working together.
Yeah.
Right. If your house were in some kind of natural disaster and you got email from Joe dash rescue services at gmail.com, would you really think a whole lot
Mhm.
and take that person seriously that they're going to really turn your life around and make the best out of the
Right.
disaster? There's probably you'd probably want an email address with a different kind of domain
Yeah.
name, Red Cross or FEMA or whatever. And there's part of the identity that goes with it. Imagine if District 40 leaders, we took that, increased our level of awareness of just how powerful that domain can be to just signify some unity.
Mhm.
And then when we do it, there's some collaboration tools that are available to us that are kind of
Yeah.
neat. So just a little bit of critical mass that we would like to develop that people would, I mean, if you're a successful person, you're gonna get in situations, even in the digital realm, where you're gonna make juggling a few different email addresses, a few
Mhm.
different IT systems. Why not learn a little bit about that in your going along in Toastmasters?
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
and we're here to support that. It's not just me. There's some other people that in
Mhm.
Toastmasters that have piped up, and so we're building some momentum. It's not something that's formally recognized
Mhm.
in Toastmasters, but again, those mentors that in whose shoes I'm trying to follow, they didn't get particular recognition
Mhm.
either.
Yeah.
But people do recognize that there's value in these things, and I appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah, totally. I mean, you do it because he brings you joy and just needs to be done. But you bring up an interesting point that makes me think of that when you're a Toastmaster, it's not all of your identity. You're a whole individual who was also a Toastmaster. But to flip the coin, on its head a bit, it is true though that from a branding perspective, if you are serving as a rep of Toastmasters and representing the organization's identity, please use your email address, especially since this man and his team worked so hard to provide it for you, and just use it. And I'll ask you one more wild card question. I have to. You hear different organizations give different advices, and I'm curious to know what your position is. Are you team when it comes to emails that are sus? Are you team delete button or team phishing button?
Team, uh, what I do personally with
Uh-huh.
the suspicious emails, um, it depends on what hat I'm wearing, right? If I'm working as a employee somewhere, then I have to hit the little fish button and I report it,
Right.
right? But if
Yeah.
it's just me working under my own umbrella, then right, delete. There's nothing else to do.
Right.
So
Or even just click a spam button if you have that.
you got to be cognizant of whose t-shirt you're wearing
Right. Totally.
and act accordingly. And that's just a leadership skill, right? You always want to be easily understood. like Superman wearing his Superman cape. It's kind of easy to understand what he's there for,
Mhm.
right? Truth, justice, American way. But then he also stood for other things, and he didn't wear a Superman cape.
Mhm.
So I think every person that's involved in communication and leadership somehow intuitively understands that there's at different times you're trying to accomplish different things,
Yeah.
and you do what it takes to make that job, make your messaging a little as effective as can be, as quick as can be.
Well said. So either way, don't click on that suspicious link. Hover over it and click the appropriate button and reach out for help, of course, which John's always here. And I know he's too humble to mention it, but he's always been a great guy to work with. So just one among many fine folks here at the district for you. So John, thank you so much for all you do.
Yeah.
And thank you for your time.
Awesome. Thank you.
Great. Over
Awesome.
here.
We have another guest.
Hi, friends. We have some other guests to. Both of you guys can come on. Yeah. All right. So this is our District 40 podcast, and we have Chanel and Charles Hamilton. These are our members from the Bahamas. So these are my Caribbean brother and sister because I'm from the Virgin Islands. So yeah, for sure. So how are you guys enjoying the conference so far?
Having an amazing time so far here in District 40. You know, being a part of Dayton United Communicators, which is a club that meets virtually. It's so amazing to be able to now meet people you
Yeah.
see behind the screen,
Sure.
be able to engage in person.
Yeah.
So education sessions have been great,
Good.
and meeting new people has been great. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. What about you, Chanel? How are things going for you?
Things are going really, really well. It has been awesome to participate in the banner parade. It has been great hearing about the education sessions, such as Jessica Morris. She presented on how to be resilient last night.
Okay.
Watching the Distinguished Toastmasters get their Distinguished Toastmasters medals and go through the walk was really awesome too. So congratulations to them, and it's been an awesome time.
That's great. Yeah. One thing you said, Charles, about, it being a virtual club, during the pandemic, we had to shift from being in person to being virtual, which kind of opened the door for a lot of individuals who are interested in Toastmasters to be able to visit any club throughout the world. So I remembered, going to clubs where they're meeting in London, England, or somewhere in the Caribbean or in Africa. So that was really spectacular to be able to do that. So the fact that you guys were able to find Dayton United Communicators, like, how did that happen for you? How do you guys happen to discover this club in Dayton, Ohio?
Sure. So, I mean, it's a bit of starting off with like Chanel's story.
Okay.
With meeting distinguished Toastmaster Tracy Baker, who was attending a meeting in the Bahamas.
Okay.
And Tracy, very animated, and it's like, hey, you should come and visit Dayton United Communicators. And I know that, Tracy has been a good mentor for Chanel with table topics.
Yeah.
And seeing that and also visiting the club,
Sure.
I'm like, this is a pretty cool place. And, I can visit it from the comfort of my home.
Absolutely.
So, I encourage as many persons to join a club virtually. That's how I've completed levels as well. So whether here in Duck or somewhere in Sri Lanka or somewhere in, the UK, just Toastmasters is a global organization. So
Cool, yeah.
yeah.
That's great. What about you? What was your experience?
So my experience of beginning to join Dayton United
Mhm.
Communicators.
Yeah.
So similar experience. As he mentioned, Distinguished Toastmaster Tracy Baker is my mentor. And so
Okay.
he encouraged me to join. And it's just an awesome environment, the club itself, and being able to tune in on a Thursday at 12 p.m. and meet people, honestly, from all around the world.
Yes.
He encourages other people, other Toastmasters to come in from different parts of the US, from other parts of the world. It's really cool to be a part of a global community, which is what
Absolutely.
Toastmasters is. And so has been a great opportunity.
That's great. So are you guys still living in the Bahamas currently, or are you now in the US?
We are still in the Bahamas.
I love it. I
Yeah,
love it. I love
it's
it.
Still our home.
That's awesome. I miss being home too. So you guys, this is your first time at the conference, right? Okay, great. So what has been like your, I guess, biggest highlights so far this weekend for the conference?
So for me, it has been the complete a level challenge.
Oh, okay.
So I have never seen that be a part of a conference. And
Yeah.
I think it's an awesome opportunity for members to continue to level up and just like have
love
that
that.
opportunity to also be evaluated by Toastmasters from other parts of the
Mhm.
district that you may not normally get to be evaluated by and get
That's
that
true.
different perspective. So I had the opportunity to complete a path today.
Oh, congratulations.
Cool.
That's awesome.
And so I really enjoyed that opportunity to be able to not necessarily be a part of a club meeting space, but to still have that room and have the ability to present to
Yeah.
a new audience.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was
that
great.
was really, really cool opportunity for members, especially because we are getting toward the end of the program year. So if you have a couple of projects you need to complete to not only, complete your path, but to help your club achieve its distinguished club program, this is a good opportunity for that. And I also love the fact too that you said, Chanel, that you get to hear feedback from other members within the district. We're in the same club together, we know each other, we know our strengths, we know our weaknesses, but then sometimes there's blind spots we don't see, right? So if you're able to have someone else who is not familiar with you hear your speech and give you some, things to work on, some, feedback that's going to help you become a better or stronger speaker, you may realize like, oh, I didn't even think about this particular critique, right? So now you can go back into the lab and readjust and then make those tweaks to make your speech even better. So I'm happy you had an opportunity to complete your path through this whole experience. So we have the International Speech Contest coming up this afternoon at 3:00. Are you guys interested at some point down the road of maybe competing at a speech contest?
So yeah, funny thing about it is in this program year, I actually competed in speech contests
Nice.
for Dayton United.
Okay.
So what have moved into area,
Okay.
what have moved past area to division, and I came in second place
Okay.
both in table topics and international speech.
Nice.
So first year being a member, first time doing a speech contest, and of course, I think anybody who does speech contest, you want to make it to this space, to your district,
do.
and beyond if you're doing for the international speech
Right.
contest. So certainly at some point in the future, we'll look at competing again.
That's great.
Yes.
Being a new member and then jumping right into the speech contest, that's pretty awesome. What about you, Chanel? Any thoughts about competing at some point?
So you are speaking to District 47's Table Topics Champion for 2022-2023
Awesome.
year. So
Amazing.
I'm hung up my hat to
Okay.
end on a win.
That's right.
Just end it there.
That's right.
I may take it down and compete again in evaluation or international speech.
Okay,
So,
awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. I was talking to someone earlier today and they asked me the same thing. Like, had I ever thought about competing in a speech contest? And for me, that's being in Toastmasters is all about being outside of your comfort zone. I haven't quite gotten to that point yet where I'm ready to jump out into the deep end with a speech contest, but seeing people like you who are new to Toastmasters and just jump right in, and just like, that's the way how you learn and I don't want to say it's a failure, but by failing, Toastmasters is the place where you're going to, I would say, fail your way to success.
Exactly.
So yeah, well, kudos to you guys on being here and being a part of this great conference. Hopefully you guys can make it out to Newark next year for the spring conference. It's going to be like in the Columbus area. So that's all that we have. So thank you all so much for stopping by and enjoy the rest of the conference weekend. Okay.
Thank you for having
Thank
us.
you. All right, friends. So we are, bye guys. So we are probably going to be here for another 10 minutes or so because the International Speech Contest starts at 3:00. So we're going to see if we have any other friends that want to stop over and chit chat with us. Do we have another? All right. I'm going to turn it over to Sydney.
Thank you.
Here you go.
Well, my good buddy Marwan is back, and now we are Fedora Bros.
Dora Bros.
Fedora Bros. That could be like some Dora the Explorer thing, or maybe the Dora Bros. That'd be a game show.
Yep.
So, Marwan,
Yes.
I have served as a past Division A director. You are serving as the current assistant to the regional manager. No, I was kidding. Assistant to the Division A director, and you've been crushing it behind the scenes. You, much like how some of our other interviewees, like John I mentioned, you do a lot of stuff that you don't get official credit for, and you do stuff that maybe owes someone unnoticed, not by our peers, of course, but maybe by a lot of folks at large. So, I remember there was a little funny story to share at. I think it was this morning when we were at the annual business meeting for the district. Callie O'Keefe, who's our current Division A director, wasn't able to attend due to a personal commitment. But one thing I remember is we were texting back and forth, the two of us, like, okay, we've sat on enough of these meetings. We can give a report for Division A, but like we gotta insert ourselves a bit. And turns out we didn't need to because she was online, so she could give a report virtually. Yeah, which we didn't know, of course. But it's like the Dora Bros were ready to rock it, man. We were ready to just ready to pop up there. So, dude, I know you told me a story, but aside from just what you do in Toastmasters, where'd you get that really sweet for a bit of swag there with the coin?
Coin?
Yep. I don't know if you can see it, but it's like one of those Kentucky Derby kind of formal things, but it looks like a tie a Texan would wear, but it's with a coin.
Yep. So basically, Wendy Simmons gave me this coin as recognition for tapping her shoulder. Back when she became the district director, she said like one of her stories were like someone tapped me on my shoulder and told me, "Hey, I have an opportunity for you." So I remember in the past this D40 conference, and after that I went and tapped at his shoulder for a joke. Actually, I'm sorry, Wendy, if you're watching this, but I thought it was a joke. But I told her, "Hey, I'm ready. Use me as much as you want and all of that." And they gave me this coin. So I love this coin, and our club president, makes these.
Wow.
So he always wanted a coin like this to turn it into I don't know the name of this, but
it's like a tie.
Like call it the Texas tie.
It's like a Texas tie kind of thing. Yeah. It's
so he converted into this, and I have it hanging at my desk ever since. And whenever I feel down at work, you guys know work is crazy. Whenever I'm down, I look at it and I'm like, someone cared enough to give me a coin, and that motivates me to finish my day at work.
Yeah, and I feel like it's like that when you earn any award in Toastmasters or at large, having something tangible you can speak to speaks volumes for the intangible amounts of work that most people just don't see behind the scenes.
And actually, that's one of the reasons. If any of you attended the Division A Holiday Ceremony, recognition ceremony, we gave out plaques for the clubs that were distinguished, select distinguished, and present distinguished. Because the reason in my head, I was like, if you have something tangible, it motivates you to continue, and will motivate the others to do the same. So that's why I pushed for it when I was leading that, and we got it, and everyone loved it. I'm hoping the next division director for Division A can continue this, because I feel like it's something inspiring for the other clubs to do.
Totally. Yeah, I remember having to lug in that thing to my own club. It was heavy, but I'm sure that the club loved it. So hats off. So hats off to you, my friend,
you, sir,
for that little act of service. And I'm curious, personally, and as a podcast host, do you plan to continue your Toastmasters journey in the coming program year?
Yes. So I'm gonna be my club president for next year.
Nice.
Gonna relax for a bit. I know Tracy's been trying to get me to do area directors and stuff. I want to relax for a bit, take my time, especially see how this all of realignment stuff goes. But I talked to Amy Mioni and to see if I can help with the district conference for next year.
Nice.
Since it's going to be close to my home, to the town I live in Columbus, so I was like, might as well help if she needs me, and I want to get that experience leading a conference as big as this, because I led conferences. Actually, a fun fact.
Oh, nice.
The hotel that we're going for next year, I hosted a conference there.
Oh.
So
world.
Yep. So I know, right? But so I want to get that experience to learn more, to advance my leadership. So by the time of not next year, the year after, I'll be ready and have experience, so I can hit the ground and help the community that I'm gonna be in the future.
Wow. Awesome. Yeah, I think we're kind of in the season of retooling things, but it's always good to have a few ideas in your back pocket. So, Marwan, if you, as someone who's newish to leadership Do you feel like you embody the ethos of Sydney Osborne, where you throw yourself in the deep end of the pool, or are you more the kind who likes to try the kiddie pool, or do you go back and forth? You seem like you do a little bit of both. You like to slink behind the corners of the pool like I do sometimes.
The my life, I always go into the deep end. Then I go outside from the deep end.
That sounds oddly familiar.
Yeah. So for me, like last year, I went to talk to Kelly and immediately became assistant division director. And I that was a lot of workload on me, and I didn't know how to handle both work and Toastmaster and all this responsibility. I had to learn it, and I'm like, okay, I went too fast.
Yeah.
I need to take a step back. That's something in me I need to learn. I need to take a step back.
And that's a thing. That's a good point too, because even if you jump into the deep end of the pool, you know how to swim. Just the temperature's not quite right. You need to get used to it. So you swim to the other side of the pool and just enjoy the journey. As someone said, one of the breakout rooms. Well, here's our journey as fellow Toastmasters.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Marwan, for your service.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. Yeah. And we got Amy Wendling here.
All right, Amy, how's it going today?
Wonderful. Hello, all our friends out there in Toastmaster land.
Yes. So this year you're serving currently as the administration manager.
I am the administration manager for District 40.
Yes. So can you tell our friends like what that job or what does that position entail?
Well, it's one of the top 7 positions with District 40. As administration manager, you get to help ensure we have meetings with agendas, notes, and you ensure that we take a record of our business meeting so we have an improved budget and funds to celebrate at our Toastmaster events. And we have new leadership elected so that way we can do our bank accounts and other things. And it is a great way to serve district leadership, but not necessarily be tied to the top 3. You can be in the background and run Zoom and meet everybody and go to the club celebrations, but not necessarily have to go to every single event. And if you'd like to know more, reach out to me. It's Amy Wendling, d40.amy.wendling@gmail. And I'll be more than happy to talk to you about it or stepping up in district leadership or see me at the Emerging Leader event here coming up.
Oh, yeah.
And I would be more than happy to talk to you. Feel free to reach out because there are opportunities to step up and get out of the club. I'd love to see you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for stopping by. So yeah, like Amy mentioned, serving in the administration manager role is kind of similar to the secretary role at the club level, right? Yeah, so you can still provide support to the district, but not be an official role per se. Some people feel more comfortable serving in the background like I do. I love to be able to support and help our leaders look good. So
you do get credit for your DTM by serving too. We have a competition because today Tracy got his 7th DTM and I'm very close to number 2, but hey, you could be up there and get number 10 and beat Tracy. So get in the game here and see how many DTMs you can get.
I feel like there's someone in our district that has maybe 15 or 17 DTM awards. Yeah, but it's so easy, like you said, just from doing simple tasks within the district, like serving in leadership roles or doing a project or mentoring. You can so easily earn another DTM. You didn't intend on doing that, but just from you being involved at that level, you can definitely do that. So have a good rest of your weekend. All right, friends, we are nearing the end of our time here on live. Like I said, right now, they're having the contestants briefing and judges briefing for the contest that's happening at 3:00 this afternoon. And then looking at the agenda real quick. So we have our contest this afternoon from 3 to about 4:15. There's going to be another education session, and then we'll have our banquet later on this evening where we'll get to hear from our special keynote presenter, Dr. Kareem Ellis.
And it's 2:10 now, so if you'd like to attend the contest, you still have 45 minutes if you're watching the slide to pop on over.
Yes.
And Dr. Ellis, I think he'll be on around 6-ish. And he is worth the price of admission by itself. He'll be speaking today and tomorrow, as I recall. And Althea, what does the schedule look like for that?
Yeah, so good point, Sydney. He is giving the keynote speech this evening during our dinner. And then he's also giving another presentation tomorrow morning. That session is entitled How to Monetize Your Message. So you know that a lot of people come to Toastmasters to become better speakers, better communicators, better leaders. And then there's some of us that want to take the next step in our communication journey and become paid speakers. So we have a lot of members within District 40 that have made that transition. So this will be a great opportunity for you to come and learn how you can monetize your message. And hearing from an expert like Dr. Kareem, you will not want to miss that. So like Sydney said, there's still time if you would like to make it to the conference weekend. We still have one more day of fun here at the Embassy Suites here in Lexington, Kentucky. So if you don't have anything else you want to share with our friends.
Just one final bit of wisdom. Toastmasters itself is a journey, but in many ways, it's also the start of something greater. Yeah. I will freely admit, Toastmasters is not all-encompassing. However, you will meet people at conferences and places like this, or people on podcasts like this, who will teach you how to take your game to the next level, yes, like Althea said. Yep. So if you want to be a public speaker, or if you want to be a paid professional speaker, you want to be a program manager at your job, you want to do anything that involves leadership, that involves selling yourself well, yeah, or building your soft skills, Toastmasters will give you almost everything you need to get started at the very least.
Yeah.
So come check out Dr. Kareem Ellis, because he'll have additional stuff that maybe isn't part of the core curriculum. Mm-hmm. And that's a bonus of networking at events like this.
Yeah. We had the opportunity, I believe it was last month, to have Dr. Kareem on the podcast. Mm-hmm. And he talked a little bit about his book entitled GPS My Success. So I believe that he's going to be probably sharing some information from that book. We do have the book available in the bookstore. So if you'd like to purchase the book, please feel free to stop by. I'm sorry, I said the bookstore. I meant the district store. Stop by the district store. You can purchase a book there. Maybe you can see if Dr. Kareem can autograph your book for you while he's here. But again, great opportunity for folks. Toastmasters is definitely your playground. Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't know of any other organization that you can pay $120 a year, right? So our membership is semi-annually. You pay $60 every 6 months, $120 a year. That's $10 a month. I don't know of any organization that you can pay a membership fee of $10 a month and you have access to a worldwide network of people who are like you, people who join the organization to become better speakers, better communicators, better leaders.
That's how the price of my YouTube Premium subscription. I can tell you that.
Yeah, yes. You get so much from it. If you're preparing for an interview, Table Topics will help you do that with your impromptu. If you need to give a presentation at work, you can use Toastmasters as an opportunity to provide that presentation and get feedback from your club members. And I think that that's like the most important part of the Toastmasters experience is the feedback.
Yes.
Right. We need to know how we're doing so that we know how to get better. And the feedback is a mechanism that's going to give you that upper hand, as you were talking about earlier.
That's a very good point, Althea, because if you're in if you're in your first really big job out of college, or you are in a family event, yeah, or just anything in life, there's not much of a cushion when you quote unquote fail.
Yeah.
At Toastmasters, though, you learn by doing,
yeah,
and if you fail, you have a safety net.
Yeah.
And more importantly, you get feedback.
Yes.
If you interview, we've all been there. We've interviewed for jobs. We're like, was it the ATS that took me out? Was it just my interview was bad? Was it just I stunk? Was it something? Right. It may not have been any of that. And this may have been, but without that feedback, you don't know. And that's what Toastmasters does: is feedback.
Yes, that's a really good point, because a lot of times in the interview setting, you don't always get feedback from the panel. If it's a panel interview or maybe a one-on-one, you don't always get feedback from the individual that did the interview as far as, what you did well, areas that you can work on that's going to help you in your next interview. With Toastmasters, you get that. You give your speech, you get the evaluation, verbal and written. So you get that feedback. Like Chanel mentioned earlier today, during the conference, we had an opportunity to give speeches here and get feedback from members outside of your club, right? So it's twofold. You get to get some feedback from individuals that are not familiar with who you are. that is able to see things that maybe were blind spots to you and members of your club that's going to help you get better.
Right.
Right. And then also you're getting to complete your projects and help your club achieve its distinguished club program points by checking off those pathway projects or levels that need to be completed for your DCP. So again, great opportunity for that, especially in like a virtual platform. You have the ability to travel, air quotes, travel to different clubs to be able to attend and get experience from other clubs, get feedback from members all over the world. Again, worldwide network. Excuse me, that's a tongue twister there. For $120 a year. You cannot beat that. You cannot beat that.
And there's a club in the corner of you, especially if you live in the Western Hemisphere.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. So you can go to toastmasters.org. On the website, there is a find a club. Click the link. You'll be able to put in your address or your zip code, and it'll give you all of the clubs that are within your geographical area. It'll give you information about the club if they have a website, the day and times that they meet, if they meet in person, virtual, or hybrid format. So no pressure, no pressure to buy. You can join as many times, but if you see that the value that you're experiencing in that club is something that's really going to resonate with you and going to help you become a better leader, speaker, and communicator, then why not give it a try?
And as a bonus, Toastmasters is very flexible. We have community clubs and we have corporate clubs. If you want to start a club of your business or join a community club that's advanced, there is a niche for that there.
Yes.
And best of all, many employers recognize the value of Toastmasters, and they will sponsor your dues, so you can go from paying $120 a month for it being free, except the cost of your time.
Yeah.
And you maybe even be able to do it during work hours.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point. Great point. Well, friends, we're going to go ahead and end our episode this afternoon. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, 3:00 is the International Speech Contest. So congratulations and good luck to all the contestants. Thank you again for tuning in, and we will see you next month for our podcast episode, which will be on the 4th Tuesday of May at 7 p.m. live on YouTube. So with that, we bid you farewell until next time. Have a good one. Bye.